Have you ever met someone and felt sure you understood them almost immediately? Sometimes, a first impression feels clear because the mind wants quick answers. But that first feeling is not always the full truth. It can be shaped by attraction, nervousness, texting style, confidence, silence, or what we hope the person might be. In this video, we will look at why first impressions can be misleading, how they affect attraction, and how to understand people more clearly. Welcome to Love for Beginners. Today, we're exploring a question that stands behind almost every human experience. Why first impressions lie, and what happens when this part of life becomes confusing, missing, or difficult to understand. Let's get into it. First impressions matter because human beings naturally try to understand people quickly. When we meet someone new, the mind begins collecting information immediately. Appearance, voice, posture, facial expression, confidence, tone, eye contact, and the way the person speaks. This is not strange. It is part of how people navigate social life. Quick judgments can help us decide whether someone seems friendly, safe, interesting, distant, or difficult to approach. But the problem is that quick judgments are not always accurate. A first impression is based on limited information. It shows one moment, not the whole person. Someone may seem confident because they are comfortable in that setting, but they may be nervous in deeper conversations. Someone may seem quiet because they are shy, tired, or careful, not because they are cold. Someone may seem charming at first, but charm alone does not show emotional maturity, honesty, or consistency. One reason first impressions lie is the halo effect. This means that one positive quality can make us assume other positive qualities are also present. If someone is attractive, funny, stylish, popular, or confident, we may unconsciously imagine that they are also kind, trustworthy, emotionally available, or compatible. But those things have to be learned through behavior over time. A strong first impression can open interest, but it cannot prove character. The opposite can also happen. One small detail may create a negative impression that is not fair or complete. A person may seem awkward in one moment, but that does not mean they lack social skills. They may give a short answer, but that does not mean they are rude. They may not smile much, but that does not mean they are unfriendly. First impressions can be influenced by mood, stress, environment, culture, and simple misunderstanding. Attraction can make first impressions even less reliable. When we are attracted to someone, we often notice the parts that support the feeling. Their smile feels meaningful. Their message feels special. Their small attention feels like a sign. The mind starts building a story before there is enough evidence. This does not mean attraction is fake. It means attraction can make us see the person through a filter. Projection is another reason first impressions lie. Projection happens when we place our own hopes, fears, or needs onto another person. If we want connection, we may see interest where there is only politeness. If we fear rejection, we may see distance where there is only normal behavior. If someone reminds us of a person from the past, we may react to the memory instead of the person in front of us. In relationships, projection can make a stranger feel familiar before we truly know them. Texting culture makes this even more complicated. Today, many first impressions are not formed face-to-face. They are formed through messages, profiles, photos, short replies, story reactions, emojis, and online timing. A person can seem confident online, but shy in real life. Someone can write short messages and still be emotionally warm. Someone can text beautifully and still not be consistent. Digital communication shows something, but it does not show everything. This is why people often misread texting signals. A fast reply can feel like strong interest, but it may simply mean the person is available. A slow reply can feel like rejection, but it may mean they are busy, distracted, or not attached to their phone. A like or reaction can feel personal, but it may be casual. A long message can feel intimate, but real connection still depends on behavior, respect, and consistency outside the screen. First impressions can also be shaped by confidence. Many people are drawn to confidence because it feels clear and attractive. But confidence is not the same as kindness. It is not the same as emotional safety. It is not the same as loyalty or respect. A confident person may be healthy and grounded, but confidence can also hide insecurity, immaturity, or a need for attention. The only way to know the difference is to observe how the person behaves over time. On the other hand, a person who seems nervous at first may still be a good communicator once they feel safe. A person who does not immediately impress you may become more interesting as you learn about their values, humor, habits, and way of thinking. Some of the most meaningful connections do not begin with a dramatic spark. They grow slowly because trust, comfort, and understanding take time to develop. This does not mean first impressions are useless. They give information. They show how we feel in the first moment. They may help us notice comfort, discomfort, curiosity, or caution, but they should be treated as a starting point, not a final decision. A first impression is a clue. It is not the whole answer. A healthier question is not, "What did I feel immediately?" but "What do I continue to notice?" Does the person act with respect more than once? Do their words and actions match? Do they listen? Do they treat people well when they are not trying to impress anyone? Do they respect boundaries? Do they communicate honestly? These patterns matter more than the first moment. In early attraction, people often confuse chemistry with compatibility. Chemistry can happen quickly. Compatibility takes longer to understand. Chemistry is about emotional pull, excitement, curiosity, and attraction. Compatibility is about values, communication, emotional availability, life direction, boundaries, and how two people handle differences. A first impression can show chemistry, but it cannot fully show compatibility. This is especially important when someone feels an immediate spark. The spark may be real attraction, but it may also come from uncertainty, challenge, or familiarity. Sometimes people feel pulled toward someone because that person activates an old emotional pattern. If someone is used to chasing attention, a distant person may feel exciting. If someone connects love with approval, a hard-to-read person may feel important. The feeling can be strong, but strong does not always mean healthy. A calm first impression can also be misunderstood. Some people expect love or attraction to feel intense from the start. When a person feels safe, respectful, and steady, they may think there is no spark. But safety is not always loud. Sometimes healthy connection feels quieter because it does not trigger fear, chasing, or emotional pressure. That does not mean every calm connection is romantic, but it does mean calm should not be dismissed too quickly. Another reason first impressions lie is that people often present a version of themselves at the beginning. This is normal to some degree. Most people try to be polite, interesting, attractive, or easy to like when meeting someone new. But early behavior may not show how they handle conflict, disappointment, responsibility, or emotional honesty. You learn much more about a person when things are not perfectly controlled. Time reveals patterns that first impressions cannot. It shows whether someone is consistent. It shows whether kindness remains when they are stressed. It shows whether they can apologize, listen, and respect another person's feelings. It shows whether they are interested in you as a real person or only in the feeling of attention. These things are difficult to know from one conversation, one profile, or one exciting message. This is why slowing down is useful. Slowing down does not mean being cold or suspicious. It means giving reality enough time to appear. You can enjoy attraction without immediately turning it into certainty. You can be curious without building a whole future in your mind. You can notice a good first impression without ignoring what comes next. It also helps to ask yourself, what exactly impressed you? Was it the person's character or their appearance? Was it their kindness or their confidence? Was it their attention or the fact that you wanted to be chosen? Was it real emotional safety or just excitement? These questions do not remove the feeling. They help you understand it. At the same time, do not judge yourself for being affected by first impressions. Everyone is. Human beings are social, emotional, and quick to interpret signals. The goal is not to become completely logical or closed off. The goal is to balance feeling with observation. Let the first impression speak, but do not let it make the whole decision. In modern relationships, this balance matters more than ever. We meet people through screens, short interactions, social spaces, and quick signals. It is easy to assume too much too soon, but real connection is not built from one moment. It is built from repeated respect, honest communication, shared effort, and the slow discovery of who someone really is. So why do first impressions lie? Because they are incomplete. They are shaped by attraction, projection, mood, confidence, texting habits, and what we want to believe. They can be useful, but they are not enough. A first impression may start curiosity, but only time can show character. In the end, the healthiest approach is simple. Notice your first impression, but do not worship it. Stay curious. Watch for consistency. Pay attention to how the person makes you feel over time, not only at the beginning. Because love becomes clearer when we stop falling only for the first feeling and start learning the real person behind it. Thank you for watching Love for Beginners. Every relationship starts with understanding, both ourselves and the people around us. If you want to explore more topics like this, support the channel by subscribing and leaving a like. Until next time.